for joining me on this beautiful day. Um, this recording is going to be on why people leave. And this might be a touchy subject, but I think if you were to reflect upon life in general and life being a constant change, we constantly change. And as we change and as we move and as we shift into different areas of ourselves, then, that could be viewed on an external level in the people around you, in your environment. It could be living circumstances, it could be jobs, it could be a lot of things, but when you change, everything changes with you. And if you think about it, you're the main character in your play, but there's billions of people around you that are also, playing out their own little thing, and they're also shifting and changing. So, as each individual shifts and changes, we move away or towards something that is in alignment with what we need to experience and learn. That's all it is. And I think what creates a lot of suffering is our attachment to people and things and places and experiences and impressions. So I think if you want to learn to move through everything, I can't even talk. If you want to learn to move through things more graciously, then you have to accept the fact that life is change and you're constantly changing and the things around you are constantly changing. Nothing really ever stays the same. I mean, there's things that are more apparent, that obviously changes, but we fail to notice the micro changes that lead up to like a really, really big shift. There's, in every moment, in every second, you're changing from like your breath moving in and your breath moving out to things in your body being circulated and processed, expelled, consumed, So there's these micro shifts that are happening in order to build up to this huge shift. And the thing is, we react to the huge shift when in actuality that was inevitable. It was going to happen in one way, shape, or form at some time or another. And so, people come, people go, experiences come, experiences go. And I think our inability to relinquish the past is what causes a lot of suffering. That's our inability to relinquish the past is what kind of ties us in place, and it keeps us in we call it like mental constipation, when you keep doing loops over and over, because that's all it is. It's constipation. When you feel stuck, it's constipation. So unconstipate yourself. However, or whatever methodology you need to do and use in order to move forward and in order to process something, so you can eliminate it, so that you can make space for like something new to arise. That's all it is. Gosh, I was thinking it's kind of sort of in the same vein, and some people may not agree with me, but I've been thinking about it. There's a lot of people out there that are, fighting for something like, oh, save the whales or save the something, and those efforts are very admirable. However, in the larger schematic of things, does it really matter? What are we really trying to save? Because nothing lasts forever. We're in a dimension of, decomposition, so it's like trying to hold on to something that is inevitably meant to move along. you know? Yeah, and it's a, you know, when you play that game, it's just like a constant battle, constant conflict of, you know, trying to make something that is meant to fade away stay in place. I don't know. I mean, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and, you know, I respect that. And whatever your passion is, if you are passionate about saving something, you know, kudos to you. I think that's very admirable of you to try. But the thing is, you know, that's not nature. Nature moves along in order to make space for something new, you know? And we're just trying to save everything. What are we trying to save, really, though, you know? You know, you can't even, like, save this vessel. I mean, eventually it's going to also decompose, and then you're just going to have to graciously move with that decomposition, you know what I mean? And then you move into something new, into another time, place, and space, so that you can learn whatever lessons you need to learn in order to master another aspect or dimension of yourself. You know, that's all it is. Everything, that's why, just let everything graciously fall apart and then fall back together, you know? I don't know, that's just my opinion. That's my perspective on things. Because I was there. I was trying to save everything. I was trying to save everything and save everyone. And I thought that's what I was here for, to be honest. But I think the purpose for me to be here is just to kind of embrace change graciously and to accept everything and everyone just as it is without, you know, trying to interfere with the process. I know that sounds lackadaisical, but, you know, if you really think about it in the larger schematic of things, that's what it is, you know? I'm sure if you, like, were to enter another time, space, dimension, things, you know, there are different lessons to learn, obviously, and maybe things don't decompose as quickly, or maybe it decomposes even quicker in another place or space, you know? But yeah, I feel like I'm here to just learn how to master myself, learn how to accept things as they are, learn to create space to allow everything and everything to be as it is without trying to interfere, without trying to fix, without trying to save. You know, just kind of allow everything to be in grace. If you learned something cool, if you didn't, that's cool too. I just felt compelled to make this video and share my thoughts about it. Totally different subject. Okay, so I know in like previous videos I've mentioned like toxic relationships or toxic people. That's just a term I use to like describe something that feels very discomforting. It's not really toxic. I mean, I feel like the chemical reaction in the interaction may seem corrosive, and it probably is, but it's not good or bad, right or wrong. It just is, you know? So, I don't know. I guess I've been making a lot of videos on it because I'm still like probing that particular subject, and I haven't quite grasped or a proper understanding on the subject. And that's why I revisit the same topics over and over again, because I feel like every time I revisit a topic, I kind of like gain a little bit more understanding on it so that I can move through it more. It's like I said, it's the process of like processing and digesting and eliminating something. And I think like once you've learned something, it no longer affects you. Have you noticed that? Okay, so with your interactions with people around you, or even like situations around you, like I think once you've mastered something and you've really like moved through each segment of it to the point of elimination, it no longer bothers you. But if you like stop midway, then, you know, you're still kind of, you know, in your system, and it's festering, and, you know, it just feels unsettled until you actually like completely process and digest and eliminate it. I'm not just talking about food, people. I'm talking about everything, like energetically, on a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical level. You know, you may or may not be aware that there's things that you really haven't completely digested and processed and eliminated yet, you know, because like I said, it's done in segments. So like, I feel like there's things that I felt I cleared only to go back to it like at another time to revisit it from a different level or degree, to realize that, oh shoots, I haven't really, like, you know, properly digested and eliminated this, so I'm revisiting it, you know. So, but like, there's certain things that I feel like I've really eliminated from my system, so like when I encounter it again, I'm not affected by it, you know. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, good example, okay, say like there was someone who participated in a habit that kind of played on your nerves, you know, and every time you'd encounter it, you know, it would get on your nerves. But then, like, the more you move through it, the more you, like, understood it, the more you digested it, processed it, you know, and eventually, like, eliminated it, you know, which is a way of saying accepted it because you've understood it. It no longer bothers you because you understand. You understand, like, what's going on. You know what I mean? I feel like whenever you're triggered or whenever you have a reaction, that's just yourself telling yourself that there's still work that needs to be done. Like, you haven't really mastered it yet. You haven't really eliminated, accepted, and understood it completely because it's still triggering you, you know? Does that make sense? Who knows? Yeah, so like, you know, there's like things that come up that, you know, that trigger me and get on my nerves. But instead of like pushing it away or trying to run away from it or trying to distract myself from it, I'll really go straight into it. You know, I'll go straight into it in order. And, oh, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable and it takes so much work. But I'm willing to put in that work so that I can, you know, put myself or, you know, transmute the energy from a place of dis-ease to ease, you know, from a place of conflict to peace, you know, and you're the only one that can do the work. No one else can do it for you. So if people or experiences or things are presenting themselves to you and they're kind of triggering you or getting on your nerves, my advice, and you don't have to take it, by all means, you're free to do whatever you want, but what's been effective for me is to go into it, not away from it, into it, completely into it. And no matter how uncomfortable it gets, I'll keep on going into it until I get up to a place where I'm just like, oh, I understand why this is happening. I understand my participation in it. I understand why I wanted this to enter my experience. And it's very clear to me now. And now I can, like, fully relinquish it, eliminate it, and move graciously forward, you know, and then something else comes in its place. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, you know, I just digested and eliminated something. Now I need to, like, I guess I obviously consumed something else, and now I have to begin the process all over again. So fun. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. If you learned something cool, if you didn't, that's cool. Thank you for watching, and blessings to one and all. Amen.